Alright, Star Trek Online. This is a game that I've played since about 2011, and I really got into it about 2012. Pretty hardcore for a couple years, and it just got to where now I only play it about a month a year, so I miss out on a lot of stuff. And I've just recently come back and purchased this ship, which is a Mirror Warship, and it's supposedly supposed to be one of the best ships in the game. It cost me about 1 billion energy credits. So this video is just going to be me running it through a mission and leveling it up. This is my character Ames G. Dirk. He's a TOS character, the original series, and the main reason why I bought this ship. And I'm going to go into more detail on the build at the end of this short mission here that I'm about to run. I just want you to kind of get an idea of how the ship performs. The build is older because I haven't really had a chance to catch up and see what's new to the game since I've been gone for over a year. So I'm basically going to run the Infected Conduit Advanced, which is what we used to run to kind of test our DPS. So for this game, I actually use a controller and a program called FES to help with my keybinds. I rarely use a controller, but this game I do. So right off the bat, I kind of noticed that there are 3 Borg cubes, and I can't remember if there were 3 for advanced or not. I always thought it was just 1, so maybe they've changed some things. One of the nice things about this build is, so it's all Nausicaan. It's a disruptor build basically, and I've always had a lot of luck with the Nausicaan torpedoes and the energy beams, as well as the Alachi beams, which is something else I've got. And we'll get into more detail there later, but it seems to be doing pretty well for not being leveled up all the way and re-engineered. So that ability right there, where you saw that purple fade out of that cube, I've seen that a lot since I've come back in the last week. So I'm assuming it's a console that just disintegrates something that has health left on it. I don't know. I've seen it happen to main bosses and everything, so I'm not quite sure what that's all about. Maybe it's part of a set. Like I said, I have a lot of catching up to do. And I'm a little rusty here as well on this mission, but I feel like I'm doing pretty well. So something I've already noticed since I've played the game last is that the gate here has some kind of a shield around it, and in the old days the gate didn't have a shield. That gate would actually tear you up pretty bad. I used to be able to tank it on some of my characters, so for some reason they've made it to where the gate doesn't shoot at you when you go by it, so they made it a little bit easier. So the reason for this really bad drop in frame rate is due to the combat log that I'm running right now. It seems that when you have a lot of numbers crunching all in one spot while you're running a combat log, it drags the game down. So it isn't a system thing, or it isn't the video encoding. You know, I kind of miss the old gate setup that used to shoot at you while you're trying to do everything else in this mission. I feel like they really dumbed this mission down. Like maybe people were complaining because it was too hard for them or something. Not quite sure. It's definitely really easy now. There goes that purple fade out thing again. Like I said, I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but gonna have to look into it, I guess.
Sensors confirm that the transport conduit has been destroyed. However, our scans of the starbase are still being disrupted.
Alright, so the build that I'm using is a real typical build that I use on this character for just about all of my tactical ships. And this is the Nausicaan, the complete Nausicaan weapon set you get free from a mission. And also the Iconian set, which is an endgame set that you can get through doing your research and whatnot through your reputation. So I also use the Alachi beams. In this one, they're disruptor beams with some really nice procs, and I've re-engineered most of these that I remember anyway. So they're pretty much all disruptor damage. Only one beam in the aft needs to be in that arc. I have 360-degree beams in there, like the Martok 360-degree beam and whatnot. So it's a really good setup. It does a lot of damage for me, and I have a real typical bridge officer layout. It's mostly tactical, and I'm sure there are new things out now that you can use, and new consoles and all that good stuff, but this is a real solid build for me that's always worked really well. Alright, so about 60,000 DPS, which isn't too bad. I remember being a little bit higher with this build on other ships, so maybe some things have changed a little bit, or the build is a little more obsolete, but still I'm pretty satisfied with the DPS.